Hey, hey, we're live.
Oh,
You remember, I suppose, dear friends, that last month I was here alone on the 1st of January, and now here we are, both of us, to really enjoy this moment with you.
yes. I'm so thrilled I'm here.
Hmm. Would you like to share a little bit about um, why you weren't here last time and why you're here
Sure.
this time and what went on in between, because I believe that is so precious, and there are so many who are going through a lot of challenges at the moment, and I really do believe that what you have to share is really relevant.
I would love to. So I trust this infinite wisdom that guides me. I don't hear a voice anymore like I used to, for the most part. I just have this inspiration, this knowing, oh, I need to do this. And the innocence that I enter into this sometimes makes me laugh. Sometimes it makes me shake my head and go, oh, dear Lord, why didn't I think of what it would do to me? So, maybe a week or two before Christmas, I started to get this nudge. Oh, I need to let go of all the journals I have and all the cassette tapes of all the sessions that I have that I've had with Norma and previous therapists and in the hospital. And so I began to contemplate, what would I do? How would I do it? And one of my sons came to visit me at Christmas, a little bit before Christmas, and I told him what I wanted to do. And I told you, of course, Tanya, what I wanted to do. And at first, I originally was going to shred 36 years worth of journals. And Tanya was like, oh, no, sense, sense. Because sometimes when I get an idea, an inspiration, I run with it. No, not sometimes, all the time. It's what makes me so alive and able to do this work.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I realized through guidance with Tanya and talking with her that I needed to burn the journals. Well, I live in the mountains of Colorado in the Rocky Mountains, and there's a high fire danger even in winter. And I have a wood burning stove in my house, and I have never used it in the 21 years because I've had extreme trauma around fire. And so after a lot of investigating how could I do this, I finally decided, all right, I'll use my wood burning stove. I knew that I was in a place spiritually, emotionally, physically that I could handle it. And so I began the process of burning my journals, and it took 12 straight hours over 2 days to burn them. And my dear son was the one that I tore everything off, all the binders, and he would roll it and throw it in the wood burning stove. And I took all my tapes down to a local store that would recycle them, 6 bags of kitchen bag tape full. And what happened is I became very ill, sicker than I have ever been. And Tanya's like, well, yeah, you just released 36 years worth of energy off the pages. And I realized that as I had done this work over the years, I had been collecting me, writing with pain and anger and shock. And this energy was coming out of my physical body, and I was physically unable to do much of anything for almost a month. And it affected pretty much everything in my body. And the level of letting go and shifting my vibration even higher is part of what this process has been about. This choice to become all that I am takes me on adventures that I don't even imagine. And as I say that, the gratitude I feel, the joy I feel, it's like a sweet warm blanket that wraps around me in assurance and says, your choice to become all that you are in physical form is being honored. All you have to do is breathe. But sometimes it's really hard. So I'm feeling a lot better. My intestines are still not all the way back, but I'm doing so well.
You are. I mean, you're like a million ages from where you are at on the 1st of January.
Yeah.
I received this message a bit shortly before the discovering the magic session from Serena saying, you know, I just cannot just sit upright for about an hour and speak because I can hardly keep my eyes open. I am so tired. I am so really out of it. And now here you are, sparkling, bright and happy, and having gone through that fire within,
And
because you really literally went through the fire.
I really did, because I not only had to deal with the energy of fire and the trauma around it at a physical DNA level, but I also had to deal with the belief, oh, wow, where's my identity? Oh, wow, maybe this wasn't true. And when I heard that thought, I was like, you have got to be kidding. But I just kept observing and breathe, because literally all I could do was breathe. I was comatose on my couch for over 2 weeks. And it was such a deep shift. And the level of trauma around fire, you know, my compassion just continues to grow and grow. My admiration for myself, not from ego, but wow, look at what you keep doing, Serena. You keep showing up. This passion. And you know, that's the thing that I tell people is, if you think you're running low on passion, tell your soul, your essence, fill me up with more passion to do this work. Give me the courage. Because when I was that sick and I felt that powerless, I was miserable. I wasn't just this, oh, I'm so spiritual. No, I was miserable. But I'm here today.
It was like Serena just kept on telling me, oh my God, if I had known that burning all of that stuff would have produced this effect. And unfortunately, I didn't say it would produce that effect, because I already knew, obviously, that it would produce, but it had to. I mean, it just had to. There is no other way. So if any one of you out there have a load of journals and whatever, you know, from your years in your spiritual path or your awakening, whatever you want to call it, many of us have written journals upon journals. I burnt mine about 10 years ago. But you know, if any of you have them, when the invitation comes, if it comes to you, I mean, it has to come to you. It's not something you force yourself to do, you know. If it comes to you, then it's time and you are ready. No matter whether, it doesn't matter if you're gonna get sick afterwards or not. You might not. I mean, it depends. Each one is unique. It doesn't matter. If you get the invitation that it's time to let go of whatever it is that has been something you have cherished and that has supported you, because the thing here is that it's something that has supported you throughout the years. And so in this case, it was the journals, the tapes, the sessions that you could re-listen. Like back in the day when I got this invitation to go and throw out all of my manuals, I was at the time I used to teach Reiki, and also magnified healing. And I also was a Crimson Circle teacher. And so there's this moment I get this invitation. Okay, now you're gonna just go into that cupboard where you've got all of the manuals and get them into a bag, and yeah, and get rid of them. I mean, and I was like, oh my god, now then, but but then how am I gonna teach my workshops? Or I've written
Mhm.
all of those manuals, some most of them, the Reiki ones, and that I made myself, and now I'm throwing it all away. Can't I just give it away to someone? Maybe they can use it. No, because this is yours, it's got your energy, it's your thing. You're going to dispose of it because it's no longer of service to you, and it's not going to be of service to anyone else. Now, how is that for news? And I'm like, oh my god, so what do I do with them? And at that time it wasn't the thing wasn't to burn them, because there we were talking about these manuals. They all contain such wisdom, and all of those teachings that had led me to where I was in that moment of disposing of them. And the invitation in that case was to put them in the recycling bin. Of course, we're not talking about intimate things like journals where we write all of our discoveries and inner turmoils and joys and whatever. We're talking about something much more public. So there wasn't this issue with the burning thing, which I did ask. I mean, no, you put them in the recycling bin, in the paper recycling bin. It's gonna bless the rubbish. Anyway, so it was
Oh
really
God.
a thing, because I was like, where's my ground? Then, because I'd been building
Yes.
up that ground, I started like a TGV train, which is one of those high speed trains. So when I started meditating in 2004, from then on, it was just all the time I was doing a workshop, learning something new and teaching it and sharing and developing. And it was really all very, very fast for me. But so from then on, everything that I had accumulated in terms of teachings and manuals, and the ones I used for teaching, the ones that I had used to learn from, everything, like everything was supposed to be disposed of. It's like, oh my god. Yeah, and the thing was, you won't need them. You won't need them. You won't be looking at them anymore. Don't worry. You don't need to go and consult anything that's in there, because where we're going right from here onwards is new. Can you trust that much? Can you trust that what you're going to start doing is new? From here
Yes.
onwards, and each moment you will be guided. And from then, what happened was that all of the workshops within the impassioned context were, I never had the program. There's never a program. So it's like, you got a theme, this is the name of the workshop, now go out and do it. And then, like a few minutes before, I used to find myself, okay, so what is it that we're going to be doing? You don't need to know. And then I'd start, and then I started knowing moment to moment, only a little bit, like in that moment, okay, now we're going to do this. And then this, like, wow, that's a really cool exercise. And so it just came. And then we did that one, and then again came another one. And then after, in the first few months, I was like, oh my god, I got to take note of these, because wow, they're pretty awesome, these exercises. No, 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 no. You're not going to take note of anything. It was from inside, it was like, no, this was uniquely tailored for these people in this moment, in this context. You are not to take a note of it so you can use it again over and over again. No, no, no. Because next moment, when we have another workshop, we'll have new, whatever, ready made, unique things to do. And so this was from 2012. No, somewhere in 2011 this happened. And so from then onwards, yeah, it was in 2011. From then onwards, everything was like that. And at the time, I had a partner whom I worked with within In Passion, which was Louisa. And she got the same invitation to throw out all of her manuals the very same day. And we were doing that at the same time without knowing that we were doing it. Then afterwards we went and we called each other like, you can't believe what just happened. And she's like, why? What? You know what happened? And so we just done exactly the same thing.
Wow.
And when we then did workshops together, so some of them we did individually, and other times we did them together as co-partners. And we never knew, even when it was the two of us, what the hell we're supposed to be doing, each one or together or whatever. And it just flowed always so simply, so naturally, so beautifully, and beyond any reasoning, any capacity to understand where that was coming from. And basically, my life is like that now 100% of the time. But back then, at the beginning, it was super scary for the first few days, because then I'm not going out with my tube of light and my whatever rituals I did before, when I became, in the beginning, when I was doing all of these rituals at the beginning of the day. I wake up and then I do this and that and the other and all sorts of stuff. And then you're throwing everything out and dropping everything, obviously, all and every practice. So then it was just the breath. Now from here, you stay in silence and you just listen. And that was a whole new thing for me.
Tanya, I have to tell you, that's the key. That is the key. I am so aware that you cannot have a plan. Now, for 20 some years, Norma would say, could you have a blank piece of paper? Could you have no plan? And I'd look at her like she was going, I was like, what are you talking about? Now, all these years later, people say to me, well, what are you planning? And I look at them like, I don't know. And at work, being in a corporate soldier still, thank you.
But it's been really, really helpful.
And it's provided money and so many things. Yeah. But we had to fill out this goal plan for 2023 for the whole year. And I'm like, okay, Serena, this is where you have to pretend that you're this type. Because last year I just said, no, I don't do this, but it wasn't acceptable this year. But for me, not having a plan, it opens the door to trust in a way that is so outside of the mind. You cannot even imagine the level of surrender and safety it creates.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an open field of existence, of living, where you don't have to figure it out. Wow, what a gift,
What a gift.
But getting anyone to get to that place takes a lot. I know what it took for me. It really took a lot, because I believed that if I planned, I would be in control and I would be safe.
You would be safe. Yeah, we all have that belief until we don't.
But then the more that you begin to trust this essence within you, and you take this breath, and your bones are warm and your muscles relax. And like you said on one of your sessions, your soul smiles at you from your belly. It is such a sweet experience that you don't know where you're going to be led, how your life is going to open. But that's an adventure of discovery. It's a language that is different than the mind. That's the thing that I notice so much is when I'm working with people and they say, well, I've got to fight and I've got to
Mm.
get there. And I listen and I understand because I used to speak that language. But this magic of, can you let go into your essence? Can you fall back into your soul's arms and trust so completely? And that means that even when I was sick and I was complaining how miserable I felt, I still was trusting. I knew that even though I was sicker than a dog, that it was leading me somewhere. It doesn't mean I'm not human. You know, I mean, when you made all those binders of wealth and information to let them go, I felt I was cutting my umbilical cord with my identity. When I was burning those journals, it was like I was letting go of everything I had found out that was the truth about me.
Yeah.
But that was the truth of me then. What is the truth of me today?
Yeah, and in order to discover that, you need to set what was before free from the task of keeping you safe in that identity.
Isn't that the miracle? See, miracles are a part of the magic of everyday living when you live in this kind of experience. It gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. Yeah. And for anyone and everyone listening, it takes time.
Yes.
It keeps on unfolding. It's not like you snap your fingers and all of a sudden you're experiencing miracles left and front and center.
No, it's a breath at a time. It's a moment at a time. If you've read my book, I Am Serena, you'll know the person that I was in 1996 when I met Norma no longer exists. And all I did was keep showing up, breathing, facing the truth, choosing to turn inward instead of going with this that wanted to destroy me and beat me up. Was it messy? Yeah. Was it hard? Oh my God.
Hmm.
But it was only one breath at a time. That's the thing that, you know, that story of the elephant. Can you eat an elephant in one bite? No, you have to eat it one breath, one bite at a time. A silly story. But that's the way this journey is. And, you know, when I listen to your story, Tanya, it's like, okay, I'm ready to do it, you know, be done. And then I have to laugh at myself because then I would miss each exquisite step that
Of
I am
course.
making in my life.
Yeah, that's the
My,
point.
yes, my fingerprint of experience that's unique and precious for me and for those people that I share with and work with. It's just, can you tell I'm grateful?
Oh, how grateful are we? Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. When I met Norma in 1996, that very first meeting, and I was a living robot controlled by word commands, hand signals, physical sensations. And I scanned her body and I felt her energy. I knew that there was something about her that was different. She radiated it. It's what kept me coming back. And now I know that you and I radiate that same energy. But it's because of this breath.
And the most beautiful thing is that each one of us that allows this breath, that goes into this transformation, this phoenix experience that we all go through. Um, we all pass the baton. Like we can't not. pass it on. That's the natural thing. It's just, it radiates from each and every one that is doing their um, transformation, that is on their journey, really, literally on their journey, because there's not a doingness in this. That is simply allowing the journey to unfold and integrating as we go on, as we move along the path of discovery. There's no way not to radiate and pass it on. So when we allow ourselves to be in each other's lives in this way, like we are in each other's life, for instance, the richness of that unfolding is so indescribable that I know that we many prefer to be absolutely alone with no social interaction whatsoever. And we are alone a lot of our time as well. And we do need that alone space. And, but allowing ourselves to open our heart to this kind of interaction where we get to poke each other further when it's needed, where we get to support each other further when it's needed, where we get to have fun together, experiencing, celebrating, and enjoying the
Woo!
breakthroughs, the discoveries, creating something new. Oh,
It's
it's
blessed.
so different. It's so
Blessed.
different.
It's blessed, Tanya.
It is.
When you
It
said
is.
to me, "Oh no, you're not going to shred those journals, are you?" And I said, "Yes, yes." And you go, "Will you sense? Please sense. You need to burn them, you know." And it was like, oh God. And
Fire.
yeah, fire. Oh, I just want to get rid of them the easier, softer way. But to share that with you, to share that with the other people that I know that are on this journey, you're right, it's a gift. To do it all by yourself, I think that might be expecting too much from an individual.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that many times we tend to be a bit too hard on ourselves. And
Mhm.
that is really hard on oneself, because it's like, no, I'm supposed to know and I have all of the answers. And you do. We all have all of the answers, obviously, because they're coming from the source within us. The point is that within the context of physical experience and of personality and of being incarnated here as a human, sometimes it's super hard to discern certain things without a little bit of support. And then sometimes it just takes a word or whatever, it's just so instant. And then boom, we can see it immediately and it's there. It was there already. But without that coax, it's so much harder and it can take so much longer and be so much more painful unnecessarily.
It's like, why would you put on weights on your feet if you're going to have to walk through the mud? Why
There.
would you do that? Why would you not come from a place of compassionate gentleness?
Hmm.
You know? Because there are times, Tanya, where your wisdom doesn't just help me a little bit, it accelerates me quite a bit. So I am grateful for it. It would be a lonelier existence if I didn't have you in my life, or Joanna, or the other people that I know, you know?
Yeah, and the point here is not whether we are totally aware that we are never alone, because the company of our essence, and the through our essence of all of the beings that are with us 24/7, because there isn't even time or space within that context. Of course we're never alone. We know we're never alone, and there isn't this issue of even loneliness, in the sense that,
No.
the fear of being alone or being lonely, which is one of the biggest things for a human being to overcome. So that is not there. That's not the
Mm-mm.
point. There is none of that. I mean, we absolutely enjoy our own company. We wouldn't live without our own company for a lot of hours a day, for sure. It's not about that. It's really about how rich can my experience and my journey here be. And
Yes.
that's it. And it just enriches it more. And each one that we hold hands with, just for the joy of dancing together, enriches it even more. It's like being in a ballroom and having all of these different dance partners that all dance exquisitely, and each one dances a unique dance that you can only
Yes.
experience with that person, with that being that is in a physical body, therefore a person, because that signature of that particular dance is that. And then when you grab the hand of that particular one, and then you dance together, that other person is also experiencing your own unique dance, and together you're creating a new unique dance that didn't exist before. And now imagine if you can multiply that in your life by many different dance partners, in this sense that I'm talking about, to live with an open heart. Imagine how many discoveries of richness there are to be had with so many different flavors of dance.
Can I share my upcoming dance?
Please do go ahead.
So I am going to be in Portugal for 2 whole weeks starting on the 10th. I leave on the 9th of February, and I get to be with Tanya and Joanna and Barbara and Pedro and all these people that I have done classes with and shared with. I get to meet them in person. Now that is part of this bouquet, the frosting on the cake, the beauty of, oh, look at this adventure that I get to do. Because 2.5 years ago, when my book came out, I didn't know you at all, Tanya.
Yeah.
And here we are. And what has transpired in 2.5 years is nothing short of miraculous.
Totally.
So I'm excited. I know Tanya's just a little excited.
Oh, please. Oh, we're like two teenagers.
I told her this morning, I go, would you believe I'm already packed? She goes, yeah. It's coming up, but it's only the 2nd. So it's next Thursday that I leave and I fly out. And this is a gift I've given me. And the abundance of it is part of the new job that I've been working, So gratitude all around,
Yeah, this morning I shared, I've got this 11 mindful minutes series, and I shared precisely an exercise, a mindfulness practice that people can do around enhancing gratitude. And it was just simply about just taking a few deep breaths and being aware of all of that which you have in your life exactly right now, the people, the places, the situations, the things, everything, and just receiving the gratitude that you feel. So you feel the gratitude, and now stopping for a while, breathing, just breathing, breathing, and receiving that gratitude that you feel for all of those people, places, things, and situations in your life, receiving it in your heart like gifts that are warming and bringing your heart. This is one of the gifts I receive. recently.
That sweet boy.
So just receiving those gifts in your heart and doing that several times a day is sure to change the perspective on whether you enjoy being here or not. Because many people at this time are also considering,
You can
do I
hear him
want
purring.
to, yeah, he is. Do I want to stay on earth? It feels challenging, especially now, these months before what Amos calls heaven's cross, but well, before this intersection of worlds of immaterial and material in a balance which has not been experienced before for us here on earth. And it's really challenging because it's bringing out of the closet all of the skeletons.
Yes.
And one of the things that many people feel a little bit stuck on is whether they want to stay here or not. And it's legitimate and it's something that needs to be looked at. But before you decide, I do invite you to do this little exercise of receiving the, first of all, being aware of what you feel grateful for, because for sure you feel grateful for a lot of things. For sure. I have no doubt about that. And then my microphone is turning upside down. And sorry. And after being aware of that, receiving it, because gratitude seems to be something you share out, but no, you also receive it. If you allow, receive it, let it fill you, and then decide.
And I'm also feeling very important that everyone that's listening or will listen, because of the upcoming events that are happening in our world in this dimension that you cannot see in the physical, that you need to make a conscious choice to unplug from the news, the stories, the anger, the fear of what is going on, because the fear is getting louder and louder. Those people that are orientated to the darkness and committed to it are very impassioned because they don't even know why, but because this light is becoming so vibrant, it is causing them to react in more fierceness. Sense what I am saying? So you, as a loving, protective thing, need to choose, can I unplug from the television, from the TV shows, from the news, from the media, from, even the actors and actresses and all, that whole genre of energy, because it keeps you latched into the chaos of the world, and it can cause real fear in your physical body and mental anxiety. And if you're truly choosing to awaken and love yourself, or just walk on this path to heal the trauma, this is a necessary step, especially in the upcoming months, because our world is filled with chaos, but not the world of love and compassion.
Yeah,
Your
like
breath
never
is not
before.
Chaos, yeah.
Now, like never before, what is being grounded is the reality of a world of love and compassion. In the same way and as strongly as the other world of chaotic pain.
Isn't
and
that
suffering.
wonderful?
It's amazing because now we get to materialize all of that which we have dreamt of.
Yes.
But first we need to choose, what is it that we want, really?
And that's the key. That's the key, Tanya, making a conscious, honest choice.
Yeah.
So if you are choosing to turn the TV off because I say you should, you need to connect with what is for my highest good. And when I started to practice with that, what is for my highest good, I have to be honest. So many of the choices I was making was not for my highest good, and I was not interested in going with my highest good. I had to really be honest and notice it over and over and over again. I loved the adrenaline. I loved this.
Yeah,
But
even the victimhood, because
oh yes, the
many
victimhood
times
and the
I
anger.
yeah, I ask people, if you are feeling like a victim in this or that situation, it's because it is serving you. Now,
Yes.
you're saying you want to stop being a victim, but please realize, what are you afraid of losing
Yes.
if you let go of that pattern?
Yes. What's the payoff? What's the payoff
Exactly.
you are getting for this that you
For
are doing?
anger, for whatever.
And it has to be looked at from non-judgment,
Yeah.
compassion. If you're looking at anything from it's good or bad, right or wrong, then you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
So you do it from deep in your core, in your breath, because you want to help you. Because you want to help you. Isn't that just a novel idea?
And we've got a comment here which is really relevant, by CC Artemisia. The reality of loving compassion is being grounded like never before. Yes.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we can read that in two ways. And I'll tell you, you can read it as the reality to live in loving compassion is to you, all of us, be grounded as never before. We have to be grounded like never before, enabled to experience that loving compassion. Because if we are not grounded here in the physicality as part, a living cell of the earth, which is what we are, our
Mhm.
physicality is a living cell of the earth. We cannot ground that loving compassion into our experience and, of course, into earth, because if we don't ground it into earth, we can't experience it, because we are humans in a physical body. In order to experience whatever it is that we want to live as a physical reality, it has to be grounded. And one way of grounding, which I know gives most people the heebie jeebies, within this context of our spiritual journey and so on, is get out there and get amongst people. Yeah, I know it gives it gives most of you the heebie jeebies. Oh my god, people, and all of those feelings and thoughts, and I'm so sensitive. And get past it, get over it.
Mhm.
Get over it, because if you come into a place of profound trust and you get past that discomfort, and you can't get past the discomfort if you don't face the situation or if you don't place yourself in the situation.
Mhm.
It's like bathing in my freezing cold pool can only become a pleasure when I actually bathe in my freezing cold pool. Because if I never experience it, or if I never challenge myself to go inside of it and experience it with pleasure, I'll never know it is a pleasure. And it's the same thing. If being amongst people gives you the creeps, for for because and the world is chaotic and people are going through so much turmoil and it's really hard and I feel their thoughts, and anyway, go in there, but go through your soul, through your loving kindness for yourself, gently, and allow yourself the experience of being whole, you, the wholeness of you, in any context, amongst a load of people, alone, in a remote place in nature, in the city, wherever. Allow yourself the experience of being whole wherever you are, whoever you are with, so that you can really ground this loving compassion. Because loving compassion is absolute acceptance of all things.
Yes.
And that's how duality collapses, because we came into this world of the third dimension to be able to experience duality in order to then merge it beyond light and dark, so that we no longer are attached to the need to search for the light or the need to run away from the darkness or to embrace the darkness in like living it. So, you know, it's all of this merge. It only happens if you get out there and live the things that the life here on earth provides. It provides so much. It is so generous, but you can only receive its generosity if you get out there and live it.
Yes, I agree so heartedly, Tanya, because you have to be able, if you're staying in your house and you're going, look at how well I'm doing, but you have no interaction with anybody. You know, in my book, after 7 years of no interaction with anybody, and Norma was like, okay, now we're going to get you to go to work. And I was looking at her like, is she nuts? I'm still switching. But it was the most perfect thing because I learned how to trust myself, how to handle when I got upset, when I was out of my body, whatever. You know, it's a journey of, can you accept all of you? Can
Yeah.
you be at peace with every single thing that triggers you, brings up upset? And there is another way you can ground yourself. You know, in the morning, if I wake up and I notice I'm a bit, I take my hands and I cross them and I cross my ankles and I hold it against my chest and I have my ankles crossed and I just breathe for a few minutes. And it just helps me to come back into my body more fully. If for some reason I had a distressing dream or whatever, or during the day when I'm, notice, whoa, I need to just help me more. You don't want to cross your ankles or your hands when you're breathing because you want yourself to be fully available to receive. But it does help you to go, oh. But it's about facing those fears of us that we've allowed to control us forever.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
there's no fear, like the fire.
Mm-hmm.
I kept having the thought during the 12 hours, oh, I can't wait until this is all burned. Oh my God, this is so hard. Not knowing, and then I'm going to be sicker than a dog. And that's what, you laugh at life because the adventure of being human is very,
Unusual.
yeah, it really is. Holy smokes.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I get this very often with people I'm working with that, they've been lying on the couch breathing for years doing integration, and then, are like, what the heck? Why doesn't this thing integrate? Whatever it is, like sometimes the most stuck things and that, because it's not going to integrate fully until you just go out there and live the example of something else. Integration only really fully happens through experience. It's not just about lying on the couch and breathing and being aware. That's not enough. Sorry. But yeah, it's the
Shoot.
truth. It's the truth. Shoot. Yeah. You can't do it just like that. You really then have to take it the next step, which is
Mhm.
okay, you've become aware, you embrace, you accept, you acknowledge, and okay, now you can come and be with me. If it's like this really distorted, painful aspect, whatever, and okay, come and cuddle and be here and so on. Okay, I've done it all. Now it's going to integrate. No, it isn't. Because then what happens is, in everyday experience, you need to be living a new thing. And so, whenever whatever situation comes up that would trigger that part, whenever that happens, and then you are going to behave in a new way from your conscious awareness and choice in this moment, in your surrender to your essence, you're going to do it differently. You're not going to be caught up in fear or whatever the things that that part of you used to depend on and used to make you do or say or think or whatever, because it was determining the way you approached a situation. And then a similar situation comes up, and then you finally rise from the ashes like the phoenix and
Yes.
have a totally new attitude, a totally new vision. And then in that moment, boom, it's integrated. The aspect implodes, so to speak, into you in complete trust that now you are capable of living without its protection, because all dissociated aspects, all aspects that we create that remain hovering and taking decisions and doing stuff for us, are there to protect us and nothing else. And they will only integrate fully when we show up and in practice show that we are no longer doing it that way and that we are fine. And then that aspect, really comes back home, and then you receive the full gift of its wisdom, of what was gained through its experience.
And I'd like to give an example of that. I know full well that if some point I've given permission, I choose that if I have a relationship with a man and it becomes sexual, that I will have to journey through some very deep trauma that is connected to physicality, to memory. And I'm not in pretend. And I will be able to do it differently, gently, a breath at a time, because I am choosing to be the fullness of life. This is about being a full living human being. So if I am saying, no, I'm never going to have that, then I'm saying no to me. But if I choose to say, yes, in the perfection of timing, if a man comes into my life and it becomes that, I will journey through it. But I know I have different skills to help me, to love me. And then those aspects of trauma can be so fully integrated that there's not even a hiccup of that energy that exists. And for anyone who's stuck with integration, I am doing an integration workshop in April, on the 8th. No, well, 3 Saturdays in a row.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so if you're interested, I'm a master of integration.
Ha! Isn't that really obvious for everyone? I suppose that it doesn't get better than this.
Yeah. So if you're interested in really getting through some blocks that you've been struggling with, I would invite you to come and participate.
Definitely
Go to
is
my
gonna be.
website and you can find it there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely recommendable. Definitely. If there's anyone who's a master at integration, it has to be someone who's integrated over 300 personalities with names to them. It's different from our regular dissociation that we all have, from this lifetime and other lifetimes, and that we have these aspects here, and like loads of aspects, thousands of aspects, yes. But having I mean, anyone that's acquainted with this personality disorder of having a dissociative personality, which usually is like maybe 2, 3, 4, eventually 5 different names that come up and have a whole different kind of behavior. Now we're talking about over 300. It's even difficult to comprehend. I find it hard to wrap my head around it. Now, someone who is integrated that has to be a master at integration. I mean, yeah, there's no better degree than over 25 years working on integration, on one's own integration.
Yes, yes. All the ups and downs and learning that nothing, nothing that I've done, experienced, participated in can be judged. Every aspect had to be loved so absolutely from soul compassionate energy before it could come home. So, the miracle of this breath, the miracle of this journey is there aren't words to describe it. I have lived it and am living it. And Tanya, you've lived it and are living it. It is like, Norma used to say, it's like your soul rolls out the red carpet before you that you can walk on. And as I say those words, I can feel her right here. She's chuckling because it's an exquisite journey so far outside anything that you can imagine. And that I tell you with every cell of my being, it is beyond anything you can imagine, a breath at a time.
Yeah. And also something that I'd like to invite everyone here um, to really do is honor yourself, because you are so, so special and unique. So Serena has gone through this incredible, almost unbelievable journey in this lifetime, of course coming from other lifetimes of profound suffering and darkness, and that led to this year. I've had over 1,600 lifetimes on earth, and so now of course I did the accelerated thing because I'd already but that doesn't make me any more special than anyone, because I had those 1,600 lifetimes because I got caught up in a wave coming and coming over and over again without even time and space to breathe on the other side. I just got caught up in this gravity of earth, and it's like when you're on the beach and you fall and then the wave comes and you just can't get up again, and another wave is already on you. That's how those 1,600 lives happened. It's not because I'm a big shot, it's because I really got seriously lost over here.
Hmm.
And in the case with Serena, it's because she got seriously caught
Oh,
up in the darkness. And so, it's not because we're kind of better or special than anyone else, more special than anyone else, that we can now be talking about this here. It's because you are special just like that. Each and every one of you has such a unique, special journey that it is even, oh gosh, it brings tears to my eyes of the beauty that it is, each one of you is. It's just such a privilege
it gives
to
me
be
goosebumps.
here. Yeah, to be here and to be sharing with each and every one of you that are in our lives one way or another. Some of you we know, some of you we don't, but yeah, there's no more important or more special journey than another, and each one is very uniquely rich and enriching. So if each one of you can allow yourselves to stop and take a deep breath and really, really honor your value,
And
really honor.
feel it. Let you
Yeah,
feel. This is the key.
yeah,
I want you to listen to this part of the message again, and I want you to stop it, and I want you to breathe and tell your soul wisdom, help me to feel this specialness, this value that I am. Because part of the journey is we do look out and go, oh, look at Tanya. Okay, so I need to be like Tanya. Oh, and she's so what I did a book club last week, and oh my God, it was so beautiful with these women. And they go, you're Serena. And I went, yep, I'm Serena. physical, real, because I know I used to look at Norma and go, oh, look
Oh,
at
Norma, yeah,
Norma.
me too.
Yeah, and it's no, that's what they did with Yeshua. Oh, look at Yeshua.
Uh,
No, he was real, living flesh. And feel, stop the message and let yourself feel how very special, exquisite, and unique you are. You have your own message, your own vibration, your own sweetness to add to this pool of all of us that is awakening, all of us that is saying, yes, soul, I choose to be the more in human form. Lead me, guide me, no matter how afraid I get. Fill me with the courage to take one more step, face one more truth. Feel the exquisite energy of who you are right now. Not of who you will become, but who you are right now.
yeah. So, the ascended masters that come over and help us in all sorts of ways are not doing that out of a space of superiority, or they're not better in that sense that we tend to want to look at. They are in support, because each one is a whole of the whole. And fortunately, we do have that support all the time. Every one of us, doesn't matter if you channel, if you don't, if you think you can hear the master speaking to you or not. It doesn't really matter. Everyone has access to that support all the time, without the need for intermediaries. What the support we offer each other as human beings here on earth is a different nature, is of a different nature. We're not here to be intermediaries of the divine. We are here to support each other as divine humans. It's a very different thing. Very, very different. Because you're already divine.
Yes.
It's in your nature.
Yes.
There is a beautiful message here by Monica, who says, yes, it's part of being a divine human, the part of going out and being able to interact and be with others. I'm very sensitive, but I've been learning to feel and release, not more closing myself up for fear of feeling. The less resistance I feel, the better I can manage my own energy.
Yes.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you, Monica.
Yeah.
What an exquisite time. Thank you so much, everyone
Thank
who's here.
you, everyone. Yes.
Mhm.
My heart is so warm right now. And so is my belly, part of it because Twinkle is lying on it, but also because of the whole experience we are providing each other with, all of us here today.
Yes. What a miraculous, sweet, magical gift.
Yes.
Oh,
So next month on the 3rd of March, here we are once again, same
yes.
time.
Yes.
Thank you, Cece, for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. We feel very nourished too. And the thing is, notice, because we are all here, all of us here speaking, but all of you also speaking with us and sharing, we're coming from a space of abundance. So everyone feels nourished. No one is taking anything from anyone. We are giving and in that receiving completely. It's a win-win situation all around. Everyone wins. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is if you can transport that to every kind of interaction, then each interaction can be nourishing and enriching like this. To start trusting the humans as well. It's not only about trusting the divine, but it's also about trusting being human. Both.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much.
A warm hug.
Yes.
And see you soon.
Yes.
Serena, but everyone else.
I get to get a real hug from you.
Yeah, and me from you. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, goodbye, everybody, until March. Bye.
Bye.